Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to replace the rear view mirror in a first generation Saab 9.5. Now this process is going to be the same for the entire generation, but I believe that 2002 and newer models have a different wire connector. But to get to it, all you're going to need, of course, is a replacement mirror, either a T25 screwdriver bit or a wrench. But it has to be long and skinny enough to get into the mirror. So the reason I want to show you the screwdriver is that once we get in there, it's not actually long enough to make contact with the screw. So make sure you have a bit that can get in there and reach like this wrench does. And then other than that, just a small flathead screwdriver. Now, I'm replacing mine because my compass went out and the auto dimming no longer works, but my home link still does function. And I've read that you can often get just some soldering issues as these age over time. So I wanted to see if a new mirror would fix it or if I have larger problems going on. So we'll see at the end of this. But the first thing is we need to get this dome light lens cover off. And so this is where we take just our very small flathead screwdriver and we're going to pry it essentially on the left side and on the right side to pull it out, because there's a clip here and there's a clip here. It takes two hands, so I'll show you what this looks like in a second. So after you pry one side and then pull on the other, this essentially just falls away, but you can see how this works. There's a very small tab here and here, and this larger that sits inside the recess. So this falls away, and now we want to remove this T25 screw. And my screwdriver will work on this, so we're going to go ahead and remove it. So once this comes out, we're just going to put it somewhere safe, like the cup holder. And now this panel has to come off, but it's very simple. It's just held in with some clips. So you just put your fingers behind it gently and just start pulling like that. And there's, I think, about 4 or 6 tabs. As we start to go around, it will break free. Don't yank it back yet, though, because you will have a wire that runs to this little light. So instead of just unplugging this, it's actually easier to pull back on these 2 tabs here. Sorry, that's my neighbor, the CTS. So pull back on these 2 tabs here and pull this white piece out and it will come away. Again, this is something you want to do with 2 hands, because as soon as you pull this out, nothing else is holding this in place. So I somewhat loosened it, and you can see it gently pulls away like that. And now my cover is gone, so I can put that on the floor. So now you'll see where those 3 screws are on the mirror itself, and then the wire that connects to it. So the first thing we're going to do is take these 3 screws out, and in this case I need to use my wrench. Little extension, probably not the worst idea. Yeah, so I grabbed that little extension. Makes it a lot faster. And as you're going around, don't forget that mirrors are adjustable. So if you need to change it or reorient the position of it, not a problem to do so. And now that this is loose but not coming off, what we can do is pull this tab down. It's clipped into place, and this holds the wiring. You can see this just came out of here, and we will disconnect it. And then the way this works is that you basically want to squeeze these tiny little tabs in towards the harness and pull. That's what's keeping the clip together. And then it will come off, and then we can finish loosening up these guys and pull it away. So now all the screws are loose, and note that the screws won't come out. They're captive screws or whatever you want to call them. So they're not going to come out all the way. They're just gonna loose and let go. And so now we can actually pull out the old mirror, set it to the side, and then installation is the reverse of disassembly, they say. So we're gonna take the new one, which has those screws in there, line them up with these 3 holes in the console and tighten it down. It's also fairly simple to line up because you have these 2 tabs at the back of it that essentially fit into these slots. So you'll feel it sit down into place really quickly. All right, so I'll start tightening that down. So I just put one in hand tight right here using this, and I'll go around and do the rest. And then once they're hand tight, I'm just coming along with my wrench again to make sure it's snug so it's not going to rattle or make any noises or bounce around using my wrench. You don't want to over tighten it, but you know, get it snug. All right, so now that that's in and not going anywhere, the next thing to do is plug it in. So only one way it can go. You can see it's got these ridges here that slide into these slots. So we're just gonna twist it and pop it into place till it clicks, just like that. And then using these tabs, it goes right up into this rectangular slot. All right, and before I put it back together, now we're gonna test and see if this guy works. Well, look at that. That was a success. We have a functioning mirror now. So it was an issue with the old mirror. So now that it's working, we're gonna put everything back into place, and then the final step is gonna be calibrating this compass. So now to take your plate, and we're gonna have to make sure that this little sensor goes into its home. So line it up so that that little red dot goes through the hole and just gently press it into place. So I've gently placed that in and made sure that that little red sensor is coming through. And now we can pop it back into place. So line it up with all of the tabs around the shroud, or this is the shroud, but around the buttons, and press into place. You should feel it, hear it click into place like what it's doing. Just like that, nice and snug. And then we'll take our dome light cover, and remember that these taller clips go towards the back. And I actually find that on the installation, it's easier to press it in from the back, or so that it's facing you, and then it pushes right into place. And now we've got a mirror. So let's calibrate. So to do this, you're actually going to want to have your owner's manual on hand to see what zone that you're in so that you know what to program to. So I'm in the Atlanta area, so we're going to call that zone 9. Now to get my compass there, I'm going to press and hold the auto button for about 5 or 6 seconds until it starts to flash. And you'll see now I've got zone 11 in there. So if I just press it until I get to zone 9 and then leave it alone, it will be in the right setting. So that's all that it takes. If this was useful to you guys, give it a like. Hope that it was. In my case, it really was as simple as replacing the mirror to bring my compass back to life. So take care and have a great one.